Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. So today's video is going to be an epic one because we are going to be breaking down the Bikini Arnold list of 2025. It just got released 2 days ago, so I am lost for words, honestly, for this lineup. It's such an epic lineup because one, the whole lineup across all categories is very intriguing, very exciting, very high quality athletes, which I cannot wait to see, like rematches from the Olympia, all that type of thing. It's going to be so cool. One thing that I was really excited for was the bodybuilding. Derek Lunsford is actually going to be doing the Arnolds this year. So I don't think he has done the Arnolds for a very long time. So I'm really excited to see that rematch between him and Samson, which is going to be incredible. But back to Bikini. This lineup is epic. It's epic because we've got 7 girls from the top 10 of 2024 Olympia going into 2025 Arnold's, which is insane. Like, it's gonna be so incredible because I want to see all these improvements, you know? Like, we've just watched the Olympia 8 weeks ago now, which is crazy that it's already been that amount of time. But now in 12 weeks time, we're gonna see these girls improved and fighting for that top 5 top spot place, which is gonna be so exciting. So I want to give you a little bit of information about the Arnold's before we kind of get into the list. So I think a lot of people were surprised that there were certain people that weren't on the list and all that type of thing. With the Arnold's list, or with the Arnold's in general, you have to apply for the Arnold's, and there's certain things and requirements that you need to have to actually apply for the Arnold's as well. So sometimes it changes from year to year. You have to have at least placed top 3 or top 5 within your division, either a year or 2 years from applying for the Arnold's. For example, 2025 Arnold's, I'm pretty sure this year it was you had to have at least placed top 3 or 5 in 2024 and in 2023. So, or either or. So if girls haven't gotten that goal yet in the Pro League, because that is still a very hard thing to do, then they can't apply for the Arnold's. And what I love about the Arnold's is that it is invite only. So when you get that invite as a pro, it's such an amazing achievement because it's the best of the best up there. This year was 10 girls, including myself, on that lineup. And next year there's gonna be 12 girls, which is, again, absolutely incredible and so super excited. We're gonna break down the list within today's video. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down all the girls and their 2024 season to kind of give you an idea of what they went through within this season to going into 2025. So let's get into it. So first up, we have Lauralee Jados, your current and new Miss Bikini Olympia. I think everyone knows her criteria and how well she's done this year. Obviously, she's only ended up doing the Arnold's and the Olympia this year of 2024. She was obviously going to do I think she was going to do potentially the Pittsburgh. She mentioned that in our podcast, but she decided to stay focused and just literally move it on to the Olympia, which is super exciting. I think going off of feedback of what, you know, Tyler said, what she's mentioned before, I think feedback of what she needs to improve on going into the Arnold's is very minimal. Like, when you get to the top of the top, where you get to the point where there's nothing else that you need to do, you need to maintain, that's actually probably the hardest thing to do sometimes. That's actually pretty hard when they say, nope, you're good, you don't need to improve anything else. Maintaining that sometimes is difficult because your body changes, you go through different things in life, and, you know, training has to stay the same, but also doesn't. It has to change because you can't grow, we can't lose. So how do we maintain, you know? So sometimes that actually is the hardest part, but I have no doubt that she's going to bring an absolutely incredible physique. I also personally think she always looks her best after the Olympia. I think she looks insane at this Olympia, but I always noticed when she's done an Olympia, the Arnold's after, she always looks incredible. So I think she's gonna bring even better to this Arnold. I think the one thing that Tyler Mannion mentioned in his recap for this year was he wants to see more glute fullness within Lauralee's walk to the back of the stage, which is very doable. She could definitely, you know, have a few more glute sessions, maybe pump up a little bit more backstage, all those types of things. I'm sure she has that already on lockdown to prepare for this Arnold. Next up, we have Miss Amy Delgardo. So she got second place at this year's Arnold, 1 point away from Lauralee. I think her physique at the Arnold and her physique in Pittsburgh of this year, 2024, were my all-time favorite. I think the fullness, the pop, the posing, I think, and just the way that she looked up there, I loved it. I think she looked absolutely spectacular. I think what she needed to improve on from those shows going into this year's 2024 Olympia, again, from what Tyler mentioned, was fullness. She lost a lot of pop. I think her feedback from Pittsburgh to the the Olympia was they wanted to see a little less shoulder pop. And I think she kind of brought that down maybe a little bit too much going into this year's Olympia. So I have no doubt that she is so hungry for being better, improving. You can already see that on her Instagram, that she knows what she needs to work on. So I think just bringing more fullness, more pop. Her posing is spectacular. I think she really shines up there on stage. I think she just needs to own it more, stand up there and say, yep, I'm here. Like, I'm here to bring it better than before. And I think she's gonna do that within the 2025 season for sure. Next up, we have Maureen Blanquisco. And I thought she was not a wild card, but I didn't know what she was doing. So she actually was supposed to be doing the Olympia of 2024, and she unfortunately had to pull out because she had an injury a couple weeks before. And I would be in the same position where if I got injured beforehand and it wasn't my best for the Olympia, I wouldn't want to step on stage. So I think that pull out was hard for her because I know from what it looked like, she was bringing an absolutely incredible physique, and she's up there. She wants to, regain her title back, So I think obviously for her, this is personal, coming back and showing that she can be better than before. And I say she was a wild card because I didn't know if she'd recovered, what she was doing moving forwards, but I think she's itching to get back on stage from what it looks like. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what she brings to this stage. Again, she hasn't competed since 2023, I think. Yeah, she hasn't stepped on stage since 2023 November because she didn't do the Arnolds in 2024 and she didn't compete all this year. So it'll be very, very interesting to see obviously how everything pans out and see what she improves on, because not stepping on stage for that long, sometimes nothing needs to improve, sometimes loads of things need to improve. You don't know. All these girls that have been on the stage this year have improved huge amounts. So how is she going to look like next to them? We don't know. So we could see a completely new Maureen in 2025. Again, we don't know. So I'm really, really excited for it. I think this is going to make the Arnold's lineup just that even more interesting. Next up, we have Jasmine Gonzalez. She was the wild card for the Olympia of 2024, and I think she is raring to showcase her being the underdog and coming back just stronger than before. I think it's gonna be super exciting to see where she gets in the Arnold. I think she brought insane balance, conditioning, shape, presentation to the Olympia. It was just spot on for her. I think everything flowed, everything clicked, like her presentation, the overall look, her hair, bikini, everything was great. I think this was a really, really good look for her, and she suited this lineup so well. I think the one thing that Tyler Mannion mentioned in his recap was that she just needs to be a little less harder, like the tiniest little bit. So in her front pose, in her back pose, you could see a tiny little bit more, too much depth, not loads, but a little bit. And I agreed, I thought the same, but I think it looked good on her. It didn't look too much, but then when you compare everyone in that top 5, you do start to see it just a little bit. But I think that's something that's very easily manipulated to be better for next time you step on stage. And she's got so much time. She's got 12 weeks until she needs to step on stage again. And I think muscle mass, there was nothing else that kind of needs to be improved on. It was just that. So if she gets that under control, I think she's gonna be, again, another top runner for this Arnold lineup. Next up, we have Vania August. So I think Vania August for the whole of 2024 was the dark horse. I think she went in and did so many big shows and did so well and really improved from show to show as well. Like it even improved from last year to this year tenfold, so much more. So I think she again has a really good shot in getting into that top 5. And I mean, she got top 3 this year. She did the Arnolds this year in Ohio. She got 3rd place. She did the Arnold UK and won the Arnold UK, which is incredible. And then she went on to do more shows. She went to do on Pittsburgh. She went to do other shows as well. And she did so well. So I think she was a dark horse of 2024. Oh, and also she did the Olympia Brazil this year. And this is why she's qualified for 2025 next year. And I feel personally, when you know you're already qualified for the Olympia and you do other shows, it makes your presentation and everything so much less stressful. So then you go into this show, you have nothing to lose, like you're not going after that Olympia qualification. Yes, you want to make sure that you show up your best, but that pressure, that external pressure is taking off of you. So it makes performing and competing on that stage so much less stressful. I don't know if that makes sense, and I hope that does, but it really, in my mind, it makes sense. So I think her going to the show, I think she has, not saying she has nothing to lose, I think she could have that mindset of nothing to lose and going on and potentially winning it, getting top 2, you know, getting top 3 again. Same with Jasmine. She's obviously already qualified from getting top 3 at the Olympia this year. So she has nothing to lose, nothing to expect. It's just going in there, bringing my best and going from there. And that's how you should always enter into shows anyway. But when you want to get qualified, it becomes very stressful because you have to win, you know? So I think this is really, really good for the girls to be able to just go in and focus. Next up, we have Ashlyn Little. So if I'm not mistaken, and I might be mistaken, but I'm not too sure, I think this is Ashlyn's first Arnold. I think she might have done one beforehand, but I feel like this is her first Arnold. I don't know if this is her complete first Arnold, but I'm pretty sure I think it is. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it is. But she did absolutely incredible. Again, she was a top 10 at the Olympia this year. She got 6th place and she won the Republic of Texas. I think that's how she got qualified for 2024 this year. And then I want to say that was the only show she's done in 2024. She might have done another show, but I'm pretty sure she's done Republic of Texas. They went on to do the Olympia, and obviously now they're going on to do the Arnold. I think that's how her 2024 season has gone. For feedback for her, for Ashlyn, I think Tyler mentioned that they want a little bit more pop from her. They preferred her Republic of Texas look just because she had a little bit more pop, a little bit more fullness. Development wise, she could probably have a little bit more lower body in her front pose, in her back pose, a little bit more glute. So I think in overall, just a little bit more development in the lower body. Because she is a smaller athlete as well, sometimes it is harder when you're up against girls that are slightly taller. So for example, Jasmine, Laura Lee, and Ashley, they're not shorter competitors, they're not super tall, but they're in that middle range. So it's hard when you have a lineup of different levels of, you know, heights. So it makes it just that much a little bit harder. But I have no doubt that since the Olympia, she's pushed on to make these improvements and bring it for 2025. And then we have Angelica Teixeira. So 2-time Miss Olympia. Obviously, she went into both of the Arnolds this year. She did the Olympia, and she also recently just done a show that she got 2nd at as well. So she's competed a lot, and I think I've seen, again, all of her Instagram, what I've had through conversations with her before, she's wanted to come back this season and show she can still be a top competitor, which she's definitely shown that to everyone, especially after having 2 kids within the last 4 years. It is absolutely insane. So I think she's done so well this year. I think the main thing improvement wise is just lower body, getting a little bit tighter, probably a little bit more fullness in the glutes. And I think what she needs to improve on, what she's mentioned before, is overall fullness in the glutes. I think that's kind of a common thing to keep improving on when you're in the bikini division, is that glute fullness is kind of a must, obviously, so it's not too overpowering, but it's enough to make sure that the balance is there throughout the whole of the physique. And I think Angelica just needs a little bit more of that. I think she's mentioned a little bit more conditioning in her back shot and stuff like that. I think her front shot is pretty good. I'm pretty sure she's quite hard in her front shot as well. So I think maybe not softening up too much, but maybe a little bit in her front post would do really, really well. But I think overall, development wise, she's done really well for this season, and it's only gonna get better. Next, we have Ariana Brothers, which at the Olympia this year got 11th place. And I think the previous year before that, she got 7th. So I think this year, the one thing I think she was just lacking a little bit in was conditioning. So I think her fullness is absolutely incredible. And I think she's very similar in terms of shape-wise and physique-wise to Laura Lee in terms of her glutes and stuff like that. She has quite short glutes, so she's very similar to Laura Lee in that sense. And I think fullness-wise, she was maybe a tiny little bit too full. Looking at both of her developments from last year to this year, I think she just needs to be a little bit more tighter with that fullness that she has, and then I think she'll be good to go. I think she's also already qualified for next year as well. So again, that takes off so much pressure from going into this show, being like, okay, I'm here for feedback, let's improve, let's see what they want from me, and then I can go into 2025 with all the improvements. Next up, we have Tamikia Carter, who actually got invited, I think, to both Arnolds, I wanna say, but I think she only ended up doing the Arnold's Ohio, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. So this year she did the Arnold's, and she had a long season, which I think she only got better at as she went on. So I know she's mentioned before that her Arnold's look for this year, she still needed to, you know, get a little bit more conditioning to get that win for the Olympia for this year. And I think she only improved the more shows she did. I'm pretty sure she came very, very close in a lot of shows. She got a few seconds. I'm pretty sure she got quite a few top 5s this year. And then in August, that's when she got qualified. In August, she got qualified at the Nashville Pro for 2024 Olympia, which was really, really good. So, and like I said, I only think she improved more and more and more going into her shows because her physique was just developing. I think the Olympia this year, I'm not too sure where she placed, but I think overall she's done so many shows this year, collected so much data going into 2025 with all these improvements, all these feedbacks. I think is going to be a really good showing for her. Next up, we have Jordan Brothers, which I think this is her first Arnold, which is super exciting when it's your first Arnold. Honestly, the Arnold is like none other show you will ever experience. It's such a cool experience. This year for 2024 season, she got 12th at the Olympia, which I think that's her first top 15 placing at the Olympia. She's a 4-time bikini Olympian. I think the 4th time is when she won recently for 2025 season. So she is also qualified for 2025 of Olympia. So again, takes off so much pressure, but I think she's done 3 previous Olympias before, and I don't think she's ever placed in the top 15. So this is her first top 15 placing, which especially in a class of, I think almost over 60 girls, that's incredible. That's a very, very big achievement, and it's only going to get better. I think she was very smart in going straight from the Olympia to get qualified because she was already in condition. So now again, going into the Arnold, it's just collecting more data, going into the season of 2025, being prepared. Next up, we have Vania August, if that's how you pronounce her second name. I think everyone was shocked at when she got that first call up for the Olympia, but I think when I saw her walk out for her individual, I thought she could be a dark horse because her conditioning, the density, her overall presence looked really great up there on stage, and her glutes especially popped so nicely. So I think she really deserved to be in that top 10 and that top first call out. She got 7th place, I think, this year in 2024, and she done very, very well this year. She was 2-time Olympia qualified going into 2024. So she won 2 pro shows before going into the Olympia of 2024, which is really hard to do. So she did a few shows. I think she got 4th at the Pittsburgh Pro this year, which again was a great lineup. So I'm really excited to see where she can stand in this lineup. Is she going to improve? Is she going to bring what she needs for stage to go potentially into top 5? Let's see. And last but not least, we have Anastasia Aspragans. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. Hopefully I got that right. She was someone I think that people were like, who is this girl? Who is this extra person on the list? Now, she won her pro card at this year's Arnold Classic. Now, if you don't know that if you win your Arnold Classic pro card at their show, you get the chance to qualify at the next year's Arnold Pro show. Now, I think that's such an incredible thing that the Arnolds allow these girls to do, or these competitors to do, to be able to do the pro shows with the best of the best. Like, that's an incredible achievement. And her season of 2024 this year, she actually started competing in 2020, won her pro card this year, and she went on to do 2 pro shows. 1 pro show she got 4th in, and 1 pro show she got 6th in. So she's kind of come into the pro league already with a bang because she's gotten into that kind of top 6 range immediately, which again, she's only going to get better. She knows what she needs to improve on from those 2 pro shows, which I think is very smart. As an athlete, if you win your pro cards and there's not much that needs to be improved on, I would go on and straight into pro shows if you can. If there's a show the next couple of weeks, especially in America, go to a pro show, get feedback because you're already lean. If it's you need to grow, cool, I know I need to grow. If it's I need to get leaner, cool, I need to get leaner. If you don't need to improve much at all and they say, nope, you fit in this lineup really nicely, then that's even better. So I always suggest to my girls, if you win your pro card and you've won it and there's still the chance to be able to do pro shows moving forwards, do it. It's going to be such a good form of data for you going into the rest of your pro season and just you in general going into your improvement season. So that is the full lineup for the Arnolds, and I am very excited. I am actually going to go and watch the Arnolds this year, so I will be at the Arnolds as well, so I cannot wait, and I'm going to tell you hopefully in the next couple of weeks why I'm going to the Arnolds. It's very super exciting announcements. I can't wait for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and all those fun things things to keep seeing more of my videos, if you are wanting to be posed by me, then head down to the description box below and sign up to the posing portal. It is one of the best ways to learn correct your posing. If you just want accountability and help throughout your off season, this is the best time to do it, because posing is consistency. It's not just poses, transitions, it is being consistent and knowing how you need to show up on stage. So if you want any of that, please sign up now or message me in the description box below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.